of inclusion in this Hall of Fame. After graduating from Marshalltown High School with a state wrestling championship in 1978, his career at Iowa State included 4 All-American honors, appearances in the 1982 and 1983 NCAA championship finals, and the Big 8 title. His senior season included a 3-1 record against the following year's Olympic gold medalist at 198 pounds. But these are just numbers, and they only provide a glimpse into a dynamic wrestler whose compelling on-the-mat style made wrestling fans take notice. He extended our imagination of what is possible on a wrestling mat, especially for an upperweight. He made wrestling fun and exciting to watch. He made us believe that, win or lose, entertaining wrestling is far greater than a compilation of statistics at the end of one's career. Our sport wins when fans leave entertained, and our next inductee left us wanting more. Through a style that was uniquely his own, Mike Mann achieved his own brand of greatness, which is why he's our next inductee into the Iowa Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Kyle. I believe my person to introduce me was to be Jim Gibbons, but I'm honored to have Kyle introduce me, partly because I don't know how many of you know Kyle, but for some reason I get this personal feeling that he's infatuated with me.
Of course he is.
And what I mean by that is, every night I see him and he'll bring up somebody like Pete Bush, or have you seen the Ed Van, Mike Mann match again? And I'm like, Kyle. So we were just talking about it again tonight. He was like, wasn't that fun? And I was thinking to myself, well, you weren't in it. That was a lot of hard work. So with that said, I just want to kind of go through a name list of some people that have impacted my life. You kind of get to this point in your life and you look back, you're coaching high school wrestling, and kudos to the Greenleys. You know, everything Justin said about coaching, and you think you're going to get into it, and you think, man, I just want to coach that superstar. I just want to coach that superstar. That's your first mentality. At least I thought that was mine. And then when you have a kid in the wrestling room and you're looking at the other coaches thinking, and this guy can't even walk and chew gum, and he couldn't get out of a wet paper sack, you know, and then you see him wrestling his twin from the other team that has the same ability that he does, and the next thing you know, you're going to win this match. And you're thinking, hey, how important it is for each one of those kids, no matter what level you're at, to compete and do your best. And that's where I really found the satisfaction of coaching come through. Not only the superstars, but it's the kids that can match their talent and compete with their opponent. Jim Gibbons was to be here, and he was going to be the first on my list of people that, you know, said a few things to you, and that's what my list is going to be, is I'm going to name people and what they meant to me. Because everybody, as you look back and you reflect on things and where you got and how you got there, you thought every time there's a person injecting something into you. And I've been honored to take that from those people and been able to do something with that. But with Jim introducing me, I was thinking, you know, I remember being at national qualifying tournament, and I got beat coming off of third place, ended up getting fourth, and didn't even think I was going to qualify for the national tournament after going in as a freshman and qualifying. And, you know, Jim said, hey, we all have bad days, forget about it, move on. And the more I think about that, those are the things that impacted us. I don't know if anybody remembers Darryl Burley, but he was from Lehigh. Kid was a superstar, and you're thinking in your head, Jim, you're never going to beat him. You know, you never said that to him, but you're thinking that in your own head. Hey, that's a tough deal. How are you going to compete with those guys? And as you reminisce tonight, I was just amazed going to the hall up in Cresco of, Harold Nichols is there, Bob Siddons, Dan Gable, Tim Johnston, Al Baxter, Bob Dara, all these guys that have coached me through high school freestyle and the impact they've had on your life. It's so humbling to believe that you could be asked to be with that kind of a group. And for all those people that are here tonight, hands off to you guys. I think the thing that kind of jump-started my wrestling career was my junior high coach, Bill Ormston, who's in attendance here. And he must have saw something in me, and he'd come up to me and he said, "Hey, I'm taking my son Billy to some tournaments. You want to go?" I'm thinking, I didn't even know there was tournaments that you could go to besides school. And he took me up to a tournament. The first one was in Waterloo, and you go to the first tournament, and that wasn't too bad. And you end up winning. His son got second, and we just kept going weekend after weekend, and you kept getting first, and his son kept getting second, kept getting first, and the next thing you know, you just fell in love with the sport. Here was a junior high coach that wanted to help his son and help one of his athletes, and I don't think either one of us would believe we'd ever be to this point here today. And I know there's great satisfaction for Bill and me knowing that those people have that kind of impact in your life. My high school coach was Phil Henning. He was from Decorah, Iowa. And another funny, interesting tad bit is when you check out history, Phil Henning would have been in the national finals the same time as Jason Smith from Iowa State, who was Dan Gable's teammate in the famous national finals in 1970 at Northwestern. So you just don't realize the impact that these people have and have mentored to you in your life. I remember one of the happiest days of my life, sports-wise, was after winning a state title. And I came home and just trying to get away, and I was going out on the farm and doing some chores. And I can remember my mom yelling out, "Hey, Hunter Eggles is here." That's our neighbor. What's he doing here? So I didn't think anything about it. I come up, get in the back room, take off my boots and stuff. "Oh my gosh, it's Harold Nichols." And from that moment on, him making that personal visit, you're like, yeah, this is going to happen. And if he gives me an opportunity, I'll go to Iowa State and be a part of that program. I think the other interesting thing is when you look back at what you were a part of, enough years have went by now that you can see the swing of wrestling. And Iowa State won the championship in '77, and in '78 they lost by a quarter of a point. I'm a freshman, senior in high school, and you're thinking, hey, maybe I could be a part of that, maybe I could contribute. And long story short, Gable goes on a 6-0 run to a 9-0 run, and I had to be on the other end fighting the Hawkeyes the whole time. And you really look back and you don't realize what part of history you were going to become or be a part of, because you were in it. You really couldn't see, so to speak, the trees for the forest. But you look back now and you're just, you almost got to pinch yourself to think that you were a part of that history and challenged the Hawkeyes and made them what they were. Another influential person in my life was Charlie and Willie Gadsden. Willie kind of took me under my wing as a freshman and mentored me and coached me up, and I was honored. Wasn't even on varsity yet as a freshman, but I was just like a little kid in the candy store. "Come on, Nick, give me a chance, I'm hungry." And Nick says, "We can take 15 guys, I'll think about it." So he come back to me a little while and says, yeah, we can take 15 guys, and we'll take you. Well, little did I know, Willie's wrestling with me for Christmas break over holidays, 2-a-days, which is brutal. And the next thing I know, I'm in the semifinals, beating a guy from Iowa by the name of Bud Palmer. And next thing I know, I'm in the finals with Willie Gadsden, Cyclone Club against ISU freshmen. And that really kind of sparked my career from there. And to tie a few things together, a few years later, my daughter is pregnant, like 6 months, and she's watching the Iowa State-Iowa meet. And unfortunately, there was only one guy that won that dual meet, and he happens to be in this room. And so my daughter named my grandson Gadsden Michael Miller. And so that was quite an honor to have your daughter name your grandson after the Gadsden family. After that, you went home and decided to pursue a coaching career. Thought I might be interested in it, but I really wasn't sure. And there's a guy and his son here by the name of David and Aaron Wendell, and they encouraged me, Mike, you can do this. Share your talent, get involved with kids, go for it. And I was privileged enough to become head coach in 2013, and I'm in the floor of the Vets Auditorium and getting ready to only took one guy to state, and he was in the state finals, and my phone rings, and it's David Wendell congratulating me. Awesome, Mike. I said, yes, this is surreal. If you would have told me that I'd be a first-year head coach, taking one guy to state champ, and in the corner is my son-in-law. Well, let me back up a little bit of this story. I was at Iowa State, and you know, you have a lot of fans a lot of times, and I enjoyed mingling with the fans and kind of talking to them, and they always enjoyed visiting, and I did too, and had this one guy that just was so jovial and was always entertaining. And so we got to visit and got to know each other, and he said, well, what are you doing in the summer after you graduate? I said, well, I want to go home and farm, but in the meantime, I wouldn't mind, you know, learning what other operations are about, so I'd come and work for you. And I don't think he had this planned, and I didn't have this planned either, but there happened to be a young lady there that was going to elementary education school by the name of UNI Panthers. So how small is the world? From a coach taking you and helping you develop and mentor you to a wrestling fan, working for him and marrying his daughter. So I can't explain enough, and stories could go on forever, but just how people you run across, how inviting they are. The wrestling is such a small world that you get invited into it, that it has just been overwhelming to me. The people I've met, I have been so blessed. It is just incredibly hard to believe that you could ever be inducted or be honored in such a fashion. So I would like to thank the committee for inviting me and putting on a great banquet. I'm truly honored. Thank you.